Unless you've been living under a rock, you've probably noticed that Google seems to be trying its hardest to be a company that does seemingly everything. I mean, they're working on a space elevator. But closer to home, they've recently rolled out their first ever smartphones, the Pixel and the Pixel XL. Whoa, hold on a second. What about that Google Nexus sitting in my pocket right now? Well, although Nexus devices carried Google's branding, they weren't designed by Google. Rather, Google intended for them to be a reference for what the vanilla Android experience should be like, but phones themselves weren't all that different from other devices available from the manufacturers contracted to produce a Nexus, companies like LG or Motorola. But this time is different, man. Google designed the Pixels in-house, intending for them to be the first smartphones they could truly call their own, even if it is contract manufactured by HTC and looks suspiciously iPhone-like from the front. The hardware, while upper tier, mostly isn't anything we haven't seen before. 1080p AMOLED screen, or 1440p if you opt for the larger Pixel XL, quad-core Snapdragon 821, either 32 or 128 gigabytes of internal UFS 2.0 based storage, but no micro SD slot, and USB Type-C. It does, however, come with some really next-level stuff, like a non-exploding battery and a headphone jack. All joking aside, there is at least one hardware feature that does legitimately set the Pixel apart. Google has hyped the Pixel's camera quite hard, even going so far as to call it the best smartphone camera ever. And while Google might not be the most unbiased source of such a statement, most independent reviewers have already had high praise for the Pixel's wide dynamic range, solid low-light performance, and accurate color. It also packs 4K video, 240 FPS slow-mo, and image stabilization to round out its feature set. And there's more. The fingerprint sensor is on the back of the phone, which is supposed to make it easier to access when you're holding the phone in your hand, and it also comes with full support for Google's upcoming Daydream VR headset. Aesthetically, the Pixels are a little polarizing. The upper third of the rear is covered with Gorilla Glass, which Google claims helps with cell reception, and the phones are available not only in the more traditional black and white, but also in a very intense shade of blue that Google literally calls really blue. They got that right. But color choices aside, where Google has really tried to set the Pixel apart from its competitors is its software. The Pixel does, as you might expect, run Android 7, but there are some interesting touches that are, as of now, Pixel exclusive. Something that we never saw with Nexus devices. The most prominent of these is the new Google Assistant, a competitor to Siri and Cortana that is based more around having conversations with the user instead of just spitting out search results. Google even went as far as to hire writers from The Onion to give the Assistant some personality. And while the Pixel doesn't come with an iPhone-like pressure-sensitive screen, you can learn more about this up here, it does feature app shortcuts, which are quick context menus that show up when you long press on an app icon. Then another big selling point is support for what Google calls seamless updates, where a separate partition of your phone's storage is updated in the background, and the Pixel just boots from that partition the next time you turn it on, meaning no more absurdly long wait times just to use your phone after a system update, which is pretty cool in my opinion. So with a focus on solid usability rather than possibly extraneous bells and whistles, it'll be interesting to see how Google's first real foray into smartphones ultimately goes. But no matter what happens, it can't be worse than the Windows Phone. Poor Windows Phone. TunnelBear VPN lets you tunnel into 20 different countries, allowing you to browse the internet and use online services as if you're in, well, a different country. They have an easy-to-use app on iOS, Android, PC, and Mac, and also a Chrome extension. Just choose a country in the app, turn TunnelBear on, and watch as your bear tunnels your internet connection to your new location. When you turn TunnelBear on, two things happen. Your connection gets encrypted with AES 256-bit encryption, and your public IP address gets switched, so you can show up as if you're in a different country. TunnelBear also has a top-rated privacy policy and do not log user activity. You can try TunnelBear VPN for free with 500 megabits of data and no credit card required. And if you do choose to get a year of unlimited data, you can save 10% by going to tunnelbear.com/Linus. If you liked the video, like it. If you want to figure out what that sound is, go over to Channel Superfun and check out really cool videos that we do over there. Comment down below if you have suggestions for other videos that we should make on Tech Quickie. Hit the like button, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and I'll see you guys next time.